Hello and welcome back to another Foxhole Regiment review. For those of you new to the channel, I showcase one regiment each month and provide you with a glimpse into what it would be like joining their ranks. For today's regiment review, we'll be taking a look at one of the largest and reputable regiments in the Colonial faction. So with that, let's dive into the regiment review for the one, the only, Somme. Somme's origins begin back in 2018, shortly after Reaching Trail was added to the game. At the time, the Colonials were the really neglected faction, with most organized groups choosing to stay loyal to the Wardens. A player named Laricus, who is the founder and current leader of Somme, decided to help even things out and built a community that was both organized and open to teach new players. That community would be named the Swords of Morrow, or Somme for short. Today, the regiment is one of the largest and oldest on the Colonial faction. They're capable of having a presence in every hex, and their operations have some of the biggest impacts in each war. Because of this, they have a strong reputation from both Colonials and Wardens alike, making them loved by the former and feared by the latter. Now that we know a bit more about the regiment, let's hear what some of the members have to say about being in Somme. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, guys. Doug Dimmadong, love the name by the way, and Prism, thank you both for doing the interview. Appreciate you both. Got a couple questions here, and whoever wants to go first can go first. But how long have you been playing Foxhole for?
I have joined War 120 like halfway through, so this is my third war.
For me, technically speaking, I think I started when the Nemesis dropped. Was that like 117 or some shit? And then I joined Somme because they had a god crane. So there was a crane on the top of a scroop pile, and the scroop gods and the god crane said hello. And we got a lot of help. The presence for Somme was absolutely stellar. So
he's a very simple man with simple ideals.
I started playing Foxhole in the pre-alpha days. I think it was January or February of 2017.
So I started playing Foxhole around War 99 on Able. I was playing as a warden, so it's probably around like sophomore year of high school, I'd say. Played warden from 99 to about 113. Then I changed over to Colonial from 113 to about now. So I've been playing since 99, yeah.
So I started playing Foxhole probably in about, I would say 2019, 2020, around there.
Oh shit.
I took a long break, and I recently came back probably about 6 or 7 months ago.
Next question here is, so how did you find Somme, and what got you interested in joining the regiment?
Yeah, so it was about a month ago. I've never really been in a regiment or a clan, whatever you want to call it. And I messaged a Somme player I saw running around, and I said, hey man, how do I join? And he gave me the Discord, and I've been playing with you guys for about a month now.
I found Psalm a while back, actually. I found it around 117. I got pretty interested, so I headed over and joined the Discord from the Foxhole clan discussion, or the clan recruitment channel. I joined Psalm from there. I talked to a couple people. I just, chilled out and was Ox for a little while. I didn't really do anything. I was kind of like inactive. I mean, I'd play the game pretty casually, but I wasn't as active as I am now.
Well, I originally started out in 82 DK. I was Blue Man when I first started this game, like many others. I think it was probably around 2019, 2020, Psalm started becoming a thorn in the side of the Wardens. And I was like, fuck, these guys know what they're doing. Eventually, I applied to Psalm, became a Colonial Loyalist, and here we are, fucking 4 years later.
Go boom, 150 ops are amazing. I love artillery. I will die for my artillery god.
Mosin is the artillery god he's referring to. But to be quite honest with you, the best thing that I experienced with these lads had to have been the stellar presence across all fronts, like across the entire map itself. Everyone's always working together. They're always active. They're always active in region chat. They're trying to help everybody, and so I wanted to be a part of, the bigger picture, because Psalm is everywhere, man. They're in the fucking walls!
But no, I just love artillery so much. I can't even explain how much I love artillery. Doug can attest to that.
Yes, he's a crack fiend for Artie. I'm not even gonna lie.
Like, personally, what's been your most enjoyable experience or most memorable experience you've had with the regiment?
Splitting 150 and getting cursed out by the person whose building I just destroyed.
That's actually it's pretty recent as well. So for him,
I just explained to Doug.
This is like a friendly person's facility.
No, we were shelling Fort Horror first, and we destroyed very fresh Concali pits.
It's a
I was spotting, and the guy found me and cursed me out as I was killing him.
Wait, when was this? Was this yesterday?
Last Saturday.
Oh, okay. Me and the boys were out there on Sunday.
Oh, just after.
I'm not gonna lie, just the random interactions, like, honestly, like this kind of shit. Being a bigger Reggie, you get to, like, the name precedes you and the reputation precedes you a lot of the time. So, to be quite honest, a lot of people expect a lot of stuff from Psalm members, but we're all just a bunch of fucking degens, man. So, I really enjoy how organic.
The fuck is this guy doing? Sniffing my ass?
To be quite honest with you, like, if I want to go run FAC or the FAC and remove 90k comps from a fucking bowhead, whatever it is, we can do that. Or if we want to go fucking shell with psychopaths like this lad right here, we can do that. It's always active, and there's always a presence everywhere, man. And it's always organic.
I think every single operation that I've been on, even the stressful ones, has been the most enjoyable. Everything from tank ops to artillery ops, RSC ops, the whole works. The full adaptability of Psalm is insane, and it's always fun.
I stickied a frigate today. It was amazing. That was just kind of a random experience. But with Psalm, we like to run a lot of tanks and Artie, and I love running tanks with the Psalm boys. They're a pleasure to have. They're always really on task, very focused, lots of really good comms, discipline. They're also just genuinely fun to be around, so I just like it here,
Tanking. We ran some tanks, about 5 or 6, and we just laid havoc on the Wardens, and it was a fun time.
So, I guess, did you learn anything new in your short time with Psalm?
Well, tanking, I never really tanked before Psalm. I really would just do infantry, grab a rifle, and head to the front. So more organized play, I guess, more tactics and stuff like that. Playing with organized groups. That's been a little different than what I've done before, because I haven't really played with.
Well, I've played this game for a long time, but yeah, I mean, they taught me something about Discord that I didn't know about. I'll tell you what, I figured out that I can pin streams to the top of my game, so I don't need a second monitor to do tanking anymore. I honestly thought I had to. Oh, would you look at that?
Wow.
I honestly thought I I honestly thought you had to have a second monitor to do the Discord stream gameplay for tanking, but they taught me something completely new about that. I had not known that in my like 4 years of tanking.
Speaking of that, I joined the regiment like within the first 2 days of joining the game. Kind of, I have to.
Yeah, so you learned everything.
He's
Basically.
yeah. He can drink from the fire hose. He's pretty good. So I
Nothing
gotta
has
say,
killed me
dude, that
yet.
fucking being a part of one of the oldest Reggies, allegedly, this is just by fucking anecdotal evidence. I don't have a fucking solid date for it, however, but being part of a giant repository of knowledge, if you will, like being an old Reggie, there's lots of old balls motherfuckers in here that love to teach, despite them being jaded as fuck. So,
Last question for you both. Anything else, and this is an open-ended question, is there anything else you want to talk about, mention, or let folks know who are watching the video?
firsthand, if you come to the fucking field and you move the God Crane, it's on site, you're gonna get fucking RPG'd. Swear to God, it's on site.
Tomorrow's
Don't move-
love.
don't
Tomorrow's
move the
life.
God
Blood
Crane
for the
off
blood
the-
god. 150 must continue.
Joinsom.com, kill Blue Man.
Not much. I mean, it's a pretty well-rounded regiment. There's definitely a place for everybody. It's totally up to you to put how much time you want to put into it. Show up for whatever you want. There's no like requirements. It's all like, you know, hey, we're doing this. Come help us out. Or hey, we're doing this. You know, whatever. You can always just join the channels. They're always really open. Nobody's gonna tell you no. Yeah, man. It's a pretty chill Reggie. I like it.
I mean, as far as Psalm and Ops is concerned, it's a great group of guys. Like I said, I've been playing with you guys for about a month, and I've enjoyed it. It's fun coming from just playing solo to playing with an organized group, and we get the job done, and it's a lot of fun. Good group of guys.
All right, Sasquatch. Well, thank you so much for doing the interview, man. First question is, what is your role and title within the regiment?
Combat Officer Centurion is our official rank or title. I mainly focus on the armor part and a bit of naval stuff here and there.
And how long have you been with Sam?
Since War 101, I was a former leader of a different regiment, but after facilities had came along, it burnt a lot of people out and not too many people played. So War 100 is when MSA was in their heyday, so I was like, hey, let's join up with them, and I had to make a choice. CMD, Psalm. I like Psalm. So.
And what I guess what drew you to Sam specifically?
That's a good one. I've heard a lot of stuff like Psalm Rally. I mean, I would always go where the fight was. I'd see Psalm members all around. I don't know, I guess just being around them. Plus, I had finally made a friend from the regiment at the time, and that's kind of what initiated the process.
And can you talk a little bit about the overall culture and community in Sam? Like what would a new person to the regiment kind of expect to see?
Well, first things first, you're going to go through the Ox deal, as you've noticed. We do that just to weed out any bad apples that may come along. We're very open-minded, very friendly to different cultures, different religions, different sexualities, whatever. So that's why we have a bit of a process to get in this regiment. And honestly, once you join, it's just one giant dysfunctional family.
Can you talk a bit about that Ox process? Like, how long do members stay in Ox before they become a full-fledged Sam member?
Mostly, at most, 2 weeks. Again, it is just to weed out bad apples. We've had people come in oh, hey, they're good in the beginning, and then after hanging around them, you start to notice things, or you hear things about them. You're like, okay, that's not going to work. And then we got the people that we want. They're helping. You're listening to when we're giving orders out on the field. Those are the people we want.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about organization? So you mentioned you're a combat officer. How do you typically run a operation within Sam? How do you keep people organized? What are some sort of written and unwritten, rules when it comes to operating within Sam?
Keep the comms clear. Listen to orders when you're being told something. I usually like to sit in the commander's seat. I know not a lot of people like being commander of a tank line, but it's really not that hard to do. you do have to be the loudest person, obviously. I certainly try to be loud when I can, but don't be an asshole.
It's very simple, and yet it's hard for some people.
I'm a very simple man. I like to keep it that way.
Yeah. All right, Sasquatch. Last question, and it's an open-ended one, so feel free to cover anything you want. But basically, is there anything else you want to talk about, mention, final thoughts, or just in general let folks know who are watching the video?
Join Somm.com. And also, just a fair warning to everyone out there. Beware of the Thorizo Stabber.
Oh, shit. Who's the Thorizo Stabber?
Not me, because I don't have a sword. I'm the Thorizo Shooter.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. So I wasn't able to record the regiment leader interview, but I did get responses from Larikus himself for this section. When I asked him to talk a bit about the origins of Somm, he said that while he was trying to decide what he would name the clan, he found references to a regiment in the lore called the Swords of Morrow, and how they were once an elite regiment that had fallen from grace, and because he really liked the lore, he felt like making a clan that was intertwined with it. He also thought from a lore perspective that Somm was restoring the good name and reputation that the in-lore regiment had lost. I later asked Larikus what kind of community and culture does the regiment exhibit, to which he responded, "From the beginning, I've always intended Somm to have a relatively casual culture, but still be able to play the game competently and effectively. I wanted it to feel like a group of friends, not a group that just gets together for only Foxhole, and luckily it's become that sort of environment. Of course it isn't perfect, but that's the nature of many online communities, but we do our best to work things out whenever issues arise." In terms of coalitions or groups that Somm is a part of, Larikus mentioned that they're currently a member of MSA, but he doesn't really think he's the right person to speak to on the overall relationship. In terms of time zones when the regiment is most active, Larikus mentioned that Somm is primarily NA focused, but over the years they've slowly built up a decent sized EU part of the clan. Usually the group is active in the afternoons and evenings, but you'll find folks playing at all hours due to the EU members. And lastly, if folks are interested in joining Somm, all you need to do is get in touch with any of the members in-game or go to joinsomm.com. That'll take you to the Somm Discord where you can apply to join their auxiliary group before becoming a fully fledged member. After a few weeks, if the regiment sees that you're a good fit for the group and meshes well, you'll receive an application to become a member of Somm. And that leads us to the final section of the video, my perspective on Somm as a whole. I think I've written and rewritten this section a half a dozen times by now, but that's because I want to be as objective as possible when giving my thoughts on a regiment. And for Somm, I'll give my perspective in 3 key areas: fun, organization, and community. In terms of fun, Somm does a great job at keeping its members engaged throughout the war. And they do this without needing to solely rely on operations. There's always something for players to do to help the group progress, and there's a wide variety of personalities, which makes it highly likely for new joiners to find players that they mesh with. Fun can sometimes be subjective, but whether you like to take the game seriously on the front line, do goofy rushes, chill and scroop in the back line, or some blend of everything, there's plenty of fun to be had within Somm. The next area is organization. Without access to the regiment's Discord, you're likely going to be left in the dark when it comes to the happenings within the regiment. Somm does a great job segmenting their channels and keeping its members updated on the needs and happenings on a day-to-day basis. One problem I've seen though is the quick turnaround time when an op alert is posted and when the op is actually occurring. For many players, it can be hard to drop what you're doing and feel like you're a part of a fighting force like Somm. It'd be nice if operational alerts were posted a bit more in advance to allow players to plan their day and make time to join more ops. I know I personally wasn't able to join any of the operations posted in the Discord because of the reasons I just mentioned, and I'm sure that's the case for many other members on the Discord. The last area is the community within Somm. This part has changed from positive to positive again, and negative so many times. Before I made my regiment the Gremlins, and before I started doing YouTube, I tried joining Somm as a brand new player to Foxhole. My feelings when I first joined the auxiliaries back then are still present today, which is I feel like a small fish in a big pond. It was hard to feel like I was part of a community, which caused me to leave the first time. And after joining again to do this review, I found myself struggling to connect with players across the hierarchy. I actually found myself connecting more with lower ranks and folks in Aux, which makes sense since I was also in the auxiliary group, but it was always difficult trying to connect with the higher up officers and veterans within the regiment. I think once you get through that awkward stage of being the new kid on the block and find players that you vibe with, the process of feeling part of the community within Somm is seamless and you end up making a lot of good memories. But even though I now know more players in Somm and have a good relationship with many players within the regiment, I still feel like I personally wouldn't be a good fit within Somm. And a lot of that stems from the experience I recently had with a player named Crumple. If you guys watched the largest tank battle video, you probably saw what I'm talking about, But it honestly blew my mind that this player didn't feel comfortable making a decision after being offered to join in some tank tomfoolery. It felt like the guy was walking on eggshells, and it confirmed something that I kind of knew from another experience with Sam many wars ago. There are some players within the regiment today that truly take the game too seriously. And it's not the regiment's fault, and it's not the fault of their leader, Lurkus. It's simply a difference of playstyle and perspective. Like I mentioned earlier, Sam has a large community and many different personalities. Some players find it fun to play hyper-competitively and take the game seriously. Others find it fun to goof off, take risks, and eat themselves against the enemy. And I'm one of those players that doesn't really take the game seriously. I don't care about what's considered meta or proper, and I'm not afraid to make mistakes so that I can learn on my own. But Gremblo, I hear you ask, what's your overall take on Sam, and would you recommend them as a regiment to join? I think if you're somebody like me that primarily doesn't take the game seriously and prefers a smaller, tight-knit community, then Sam may not be the right fit for you. On the other hand, if you're somebody that wants to learn how to optimally play Foxhole, can follow orders and take direction, and wants to contribute to the success of a large regiment that has an impact on the outcome of the war, then Sam may be the perfect home for you. And that concludes the Sam Regiment review. I want to thank all the players who provided an interview, and a special thank you to Lurkus for allowing me to do the review on Sam. I'm also sorry if there were players who wanted to be part of the interviews and didn't get in. Because of how large Sam is, this video would easily be over 2 hours if I included all the officers, veterans, and newcomers to the regiment. But if you are a member of Sam and want to share your perspective, make sure you provide your in-game name and talk a little bit about your experience within Sam down in the comments section below. Thank you all so much for watching. If you'd like your regiment to be in the series, make sure you join my Discord below and submit your regiment down in the Regiment Review Submissions channel. Also, if you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe for more Foxhole related content. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Speak about hard sex, pornographic content, niggas trying to give head, shit is not a contest. Whipping back cock web, penis is godsend, at least that's what my mom said. Poop is all on his chest, booty's not an object, busy being a butt fucker, you know how my job gets. Farted on the wrong me, you know how my hoe gets, having fun on that dig, yeah.